this first quarterly meeting of what is Palm Beach County Library Association's 40th year. And I wasn't quite around for all 40 of them, but for a lot of them. And thank David and the college for providing this gorgeous room and the refreshments. Just a reminder about membership. If you already have not reviewed Nude for this year, which began in July, you can have that opportunity today. And dues are $20. Also, there's some opportunities there for you to volunteer. We are specifically looking for somebody to help with a newsletter, do some advocacy, publicity for programs. We'd like another camera operator, not that our current operator isn't wonderful. He would just like to be reprieved. So if there is somebody who is interested in doing that, please let us know. Also, we want to start a student activity committee and would like to have people volunteer in establishing that. And we also have most of the schedule for the next meeting year already planned out. The next meeting will be on December 9th at the Okeechobee Boulevard branch, and that will be on intellectual freedom. The next one will be probably in March at the Boynton Beach City Library. We're not quite sure of the topic yet. And the annual meeting will be at the Jaffe Center for Books at Wimberley Library at FAU campus in Boca Raton on June 15th. And all these dates will be available online, and you'll get reminders shortly before. Are there any announcements from the floor about activities at your library that you would like us to know about? Okay. Then I would like to introduce you to our speaker. Her name is Jenny Saxton. She is currently a reference librarian at the Miami-Dade College Kendall campus. And she did a program for us about 2 years ago, maybe a little more, on iPods. It was at the Okeechobee Boulevard branch. And it was, I believe, one of our most successful programs that we did. People raved about it. It was very informative. And Jenny is going to do her program on Twitter. And in her information, she mentions if you resisted Twitter because you couldn't care less what Ashton Kutcher had for breakfast, and you can't imagine how Twitter could possibly be useful to you or your library, this presentation is for you, which is me. So I am anticipating this workshop, and I hope everybody else is. And Jenny.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me back. I had such a good time the last time I visited with you guys, and that day it was all about iPods. Today's going to be all about Twitter. So, how many tweets do we have? A few people on Twitter? Good. Okay. I want to start out by telling you that I had a handout that I wanted to share with you today, but I couldn't. I wasn't able to make copies of it. So what I did, and I wonder if I can get rid of this thing here, is I put it online, and if you go to this link here, you will find not just a handout, but also lots of other things, articles and web pages and all kinds of other information about Twitter. And I'll give you the same link again at the end of the session as well. So just sort of a one-stop shop for everything that I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to show you. I brought my Twitter shirt. Oh, Twitter, but I don't want you to take my word for it, okay? I want to show you the first 2 minutes, just 2 minutes of a video that was put on YouTube by a young man named Devere Kahan. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's 14 years old, and he has his own YouTube show that he calls Technology, which is kind of a cute little combination between the words technology and knowledge. And on each episode of his show, he talks about some different kind of techie thing. And in this episode, he's talking about Twitter. And as you may know, some of the younger people have been a little slow to catch on to Twitter because they're all on Facebook, obviously. But this young man took to Twitter in a big way, and I think he's just adorable. So I just want you to hear the first 2 minutes of what he has to say about it, and see if we can adjust the volume here.
I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you have heard of Twitter. The thing is, actually, almost everyone I know has heard of Twitter. That includes my parents, my siblings, my grandparents, my friends. The problem is, though, everyone is always saying, Twitter is for stalking people. Why do I care when you wait for lunch? They're saying, what's the point in Twitter? I understand what it is. Am I the only one like this? How many times has someone asked you what Twitter is? How many times have you heard someone say Twitter's stupid, Twitter's for stalking people? I mean, leave your Twitter stories in the comments below, but am I the only one that's had this? I can't imagine I am. And I think it's because people are skeptic about Twitter. People aren't 100% sure what it is, and so they think it's stupid. And one of those very people is none other than David Pogue. That's right, the New York Times technology columnist was a huge skeptic of Twitter when it first started. In fact, he wrote an entire newspaper column talking about how stupid it was and how it wasn't going to get anywhere, and that the world didn't need another website for social, networking like that, and that it was pointless. Like, why do I care when we have for lunch? And he spent a week on Twitter. He actually used Twitter for a week, gave it a chance, and he recalled everything. He took everything back. He realized that he was very, very mistaken, and he was, because Twitter has huge potential. You can do so many things with Twitter, and you just need to use it. The best way to learn what it is to use it. So if you want to know what it is, just use it. Although I'm assuming, again, if you're watching this video, you not only have heard of it, but you probably know what it is. But if you don't, that's fine. Keep on watching this video. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But also, this episode of Technology is actually focused not only on what Twitter is, but the potential of Twitter, and some of the things Twitter has done for the world, and what David Pogue saw in the world of Twitter, because I'm going to be talking about the world according to Twitter.
Isn't he cute? All right, so he goes on to talk about, not so much about Twitter really, but more about David Pogue's book, which I have a copy of here with me. And what I wanted to do was raffle this off, and I actually brought some raffle tickets with me, but I forgot to bring a bowl to put them in, and it's always like a pain. So I thought maybe as I was driving up here, I thought we could maybe do what they do at weddings to see who gets the centerpiece, like closest birthday to today. Do we have any September or August birthdays?
September 30th.
Okay, September 30th?
September 24th.
Oh, September 24th? Going? Anyone closer than that? Okay, we have a winner.
I have no idea how much
Okay. Now, so, what he said in this video, the main thing, most important thing, is that, you won't get Twitter until you actually start using it. And the reason for that is because the idea behind Twitter is so ridiculously simple that it can and does become something completely different for everybody that uses it. And you're not going to know what it's going to be for you until you actually sit down and start using it for a while and giving it a chance. So what I'm going to do today is just tell you about a few things that Twitter can do and give you a few tips to get started. But then it's really going to be up to you to jump in and really start using it. So what is the idea behind Twitter? Let me see, whoops. Let me go to my next slide. Well, this pretty much is it. I mean, how much more minimalist can you get? In 140 characters or less, not 140 words or less, but 140 characters or less, including spaces, what is happening in your world right now? What are you reading? What are you thinking? What are you doing? What's on your mind? And of course, one of the reasons why so many people continue to resist Twitter is because of the fear that Twitter is mainly about stuff like this. This is something that someone tweeted. Every time you say something on Twitter, it's called a tweet. And a very famous person tweeted this a while back. And notice that when this person typed in this tweet, that number 140 went down, because it does keep track for you how many characters you still have left to work with. So this person could have gone on for another 49 characters, but this is where they stopped. Anyone want to take a guess as who this might have been? Very famous person. Very famous woman? Oprah. Yeah, I think I heard it. Oprah. Yes, Oprah Winfrey. This is Oprah Winfrey's Twitter page. It's at twitter.com/Oprah, and if you start your own Twitter account, you too will have your own Twitter page, and it'll be twitter.com/whatever you decide to call yourself on Twitter. And this is where you go when you want to see all of the things that Oprah tweets about. Now notice that Oprah, incidentally, has something called a verified account. Famous people will do this. What this tells us is that this is actually the real Oprah Winfrey, and not just somebody on Twitter pretending to be Oprah. This is really her. And if you have an interest in her and what she tweets about, what you can do is you can log into your Twitter account and then go to twitter.com/Oprah. And then you can click this little button that says follow. And by doing that, you then never again have to go to her page to see what she's tweeting about, because her tweets will automatically get delivered to you. So it's kind of like subscribing to her tweets. So this is what it looks like when I log into my Twitter account. This is not my Twitter page. This is my Twitter stream. This is where I go to see all of the tweets from all of the people that I follow. And here is Oprah's latest tweet. And you can see I also follow, the Frost Art Museum at FIU and a bunch of other people. Now, here's the beauty of Twitter. If you couldn't care less about Oprah Winfrey and her skinny cows and her no phone zones, guess what? You don't have to follow her. Or you could do what I did about 5 minutes after I took this screenshot. You can go back and unfollow her, okay? And then you never have to be bothered by Oprah Winfrey and her skinny cows ever again. So that is the secret to Twitter. If you are selective about the people you follow, then it can actually be quite useful for you. So let me go back to Oprah's page for a second. Notice that Oprah has over 3 million followers. And actually I took this screenshot a while back, so I think it's up to over 4 million now. Of course, she's very famous, so she has 4 million followers. But notice that she herself only follows 19 people. There's only 19 people in the world that she considers interesting enough to receive their tweets. And if you look at these little thumbnail pictures here, you can see who some of these people are, and I can tell you who they are. Some of them are. Of course, there's Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, 2 gigantic Twitter users. They're big on Twitter. And, there Ellen DeGeneres is there, I think Larry King. So, the people that she's interested in, the people in her world. So, take a tip from Oprah Winfrey. You don't have to follow everyone who follows you. In fact, most of the time, you're not going to want to. Okay? So, I could get on my Twitter account right now if I wanted to, and I could tweet something like this. What's happening in my life right now? Well, I'm giving a presentation called Twitter for the Curious and Skeptical. And if you have signed up to follow me, the next time you log into your Twitter account, you will see this, and you'll look at it and you'll say, well, gee, that's kind of nice. Thank you for sharing that, Jenny. But what if I were to tweet something more along these lines? What's happening? Well, I'm reading a great article about the use of Twitter in libraries with a link to that article. Now, if you follow me and you happen to be a librarian or somebody who is interested in the use of Twitter in libraries, now we're talking about something that might actually be useful for you. Now, of course, you don't have to be a librarian to follow me. I do tweet about, sci-fi and ice cream and other things like that too. But, this, for a lot of people, this is what Twitter has become, an information sharing tool. Okay, so if we start to compile a list of all the things that Twitter is